Hey, welcome. You are here tonight. Welcome to We'll Sing and We'll Shout. We've been missing in action here for a few days, but it's good to be back on and back at it here. I'm your host, Steve Hansen, and I've got Cheryl with us, and we may actually have a couple of other younger brothers here join us today. We'll have to see how brave they're feeling.
See if they can figure out the tech stuff.
Yeah, the technology always a bit of a challenge sometimes. So I kept my tie on till about, I don't know, 5 o'clock today. And then when it came time to eat dinner, I was like, all right, I'm going to get rid of this thing. But I was going to try to keep it on, for the show tonight. So I look really spiff here for this thing for mom. But
Yeah.
But here's Andy.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So now we got Andy here with us. How's it going, Andy?
Good. How's it going there?
Good. Hey, thanks for jumping in. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll get
Did you
Dave here
send
too.
a link to David?
I did. I sent it to his jukebox at Gmail. I'm pretty sure that's the right one.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right. Well, hey, I had a couple things I wanted to talk through here first while you guys warm up your thoughts a little bit. Really enjoyed my trip to Ohio. That was just really a lot of fun. Got to do so many, let me just kind of go through this week a little bit here. So, we got there late Saturday night. We came over and spent Sunday with you, Cheryl. Went to church in Hilliard. And then what did we have for lunch that day? We had sweet corn.
Right.
And we had something else that you made that was really good.
The frittata?
The frittata, no, it seems like that was
the
later.
egg thing?
Was that the day you made the frittata?
I don't know. We're having a really crazy wind rainstorm here right now. So if I sound a little nervous, that's why.
Okay. But anyway, good times with you on Sunday. And then we got up on Monday and drove up to Orville. And I think we went for a hike that afternoon at the Worcester Memorial Park. Andy, you're probably familiar with that. And we did like 4 miles around that park. Jamie and I, Angie's husband, Heidi's sister-in-law. Well, Heidi's sister, but her in-law. So Jamie and I did about 4 miles around that Memorial Park. And then on Tuesday, I drove up to Cleveland. I had been a part of this Facebook thing. I got something about Cleveland, Ohio on Facebook, and it was kind of interesting. So I joined the group, and I've been getting all this history about Cleveland. And it was like, wow, I didn't know, obviously Cleveland has a lot of history, but I knew very little of it. I thought Cleveland was mainly there to support the Cleveland Browns, but apparently that's not the case. Cleveland was actually there before the Cleveland Browns, and it actually has some pretty amazing history. Now, there's a guy named Isaac Newton who wants to jump in here. I'm guessing this is David. Dave, is that you?
David?
Dave, are you on mute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Isaac Newton is here.
Isaac Newton in the form of David is here.
Okay.
Dave, what's the Isaac Newton thing you got going on here?
Isaac Newton?
That's what it pops up.
Hold on, man. I didn't know I was on camera. I'm out of here.
Dave,
you can come on just as your voice, Dave. Get rid of the camera and just have your microphone on.
Hold on a minute.
All right.
All right, I'm going to keep talking. You figure all you got to do is take yourself off camera.
I told you they wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Give me a second. I got everybody throwing stuff at me at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't like, I'm used to Teams meetings. There's a little bit of difference in here.
Yeah. So Cleveland, I went up to I'd read all this stuff about Cleveland. And so I went up to the West Side Market, and it's this old building that was built like in the early 1900s, and all the farmers and the merchants and whoever would come in there and sell their stuff in the West Side Market. And before the building was even there, they used the square across the street way back into Civil War times or whatever. But I get up there in this really cool building, and it's all closed because it's not open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that was kind of a bummer, but I got to see the outside. St. Ignatius was right there. And so I walked around the campus of St. Ignatius High School, and that was pretty neat too. And then I went over to the Terminal Tower, downtown Cleveland. I don't think I had ever been in the terminal tower. Maybe I had and have forgotten it, but that was a pretty neat old building. Of course, it goes down to the train tracks and everything down below. And now it's a big mall. It was pretty quiet in there. In fact, all of downtown Cleveland was pretty quiet. It just didn't feel like there was a lot of vibrancy there, but maybe I was just there on the wrong day. I
Yeah.
will say that one thing I discovered about going to downtown Cleveland, you better do your peeing before you get there, because there's
Yeah.
no place to pee in downtown
No
Cleveland.
public bathrooms, huh?
If you don't if you don't go buy a, a big meal at a restaurant or go get a hotel room, you're not peeing
Yeah.
in downtown Cleveland.
Well, that's just
So,
ridiculous. I mean, they want
so
people to come down there and do touristy stuff, and they don't provide bathrooms.
but
How
they don't
dumb is
let you use
that?
the bathroom. Well, I think
Yeah.
they do it because they want to keep the homeless people out of there. And so
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they know they don't let them pee, then they know they won't come down there.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes
Well,
it rough.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it is. I mean, I stop at so many gas stations, and these days, it's back to giving you a key to get in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I did go into the Chipotle and I bought a drink just for the very opportunity to use the restroom. And it was like a $4 drink. And then I had to get a bathroom code to use the bathroom in the Chipotle. So,
Wow.
Yeah, and you just
So it's pretty-
reloaded with a new Chipotle drink.
so it's pretty it's pretty live in downtown Cleveland when you go and get to pee. So I got out of there and I went over to Bellevue and I ran
You
around
can
the
pee in
track there in
Bellevue.
Bellevue and ran the steps. And you probably pee in Bellevue, but I'd already done my peeing, so
That's
I
good.
was
You
in
can
good
always
shape
see in
there.
Bellevue. There's a backyard everywhere.
Exactly.
And,
Go out to the farm and use the trees.
That's
there's
good. Don't get caught in the park. That'll cause you problems.
all right, let me share this story about peeing in Bellevue. So,
Okay.
growing up on the farm there, we pretty much peed wherever we went.
Right.
Grandpa would whip it out there in the barn just about anywhere he needed to, or out in the field or whatever.
I'm glad I never
Um,
saw Grandpa do that.
There on the farm, we were pretty much free to pee.
Right.
So you remember this, Cheryl, but one time when the boys were young, Ben was probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old or something. We were up at Gark and we were standing there. This is back in the day when there was a water fountain right there near the tennis courts.
Mhm.
And Ben needed to pee, and having grown up a farm, he didn't know any better. And so he just did his business right there near the water fountain and didn't think a thing of it.
Right.
And do you remember that, Cheryl?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
have
you
my
were
own
there.
Ben story about peeing though.
So
Hey, I have a pee story too. Go ahead, Steve.
well, this is a good time for your pee story. Go ahead and throw it in here.
All right. Well, when Cheryl used to live up there in Michigan, in Allen, and her and Martin had the red house, I would drive by there a lot. So I would stop and pee in their backyard because that was I'd be like 2 hours in. And so I'd knock on the door, nobody be home. And then I would text Cheryl and say, hey, I just peed in your backyard again. So she'd be like, did the neighbors see you? And I go, I don't think so. But if you hear anything, that was me.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mom will be so thrilled that we're
we're
doing an honorary thing to her about pee stories.
Hey,
Yeah.
mom had me pee in a lot of places. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Now is the time to go. So if you have to go, that's right. That's when it happens.
So Steve,
right.
what's the rest of your story with Ben at Greenwood Heights?
Well, that's pretty
right.
much it. Just that he
Yeah.
just whipped it out and peed right there and acted
Hey.
like this was just what you did.
Hey,
And
peeing
you-
outside. There's a peeing outside song. I'll send to all you guys about peeing outside.
Ah,
right.
Steve
Right.
shared the cow song with me. That was pretty funny.
Oh, you like that one, did you?
Yeah, that was good. So
Yeah.
my Ben P story is that Mom sent me on an errand up to Hoag's, and I wanted to run in, but I didn't want to take any of the boys in with me, so I told you guys to stay in the car. And back then there wasn't like electric windows; you could just roll the window down whenever you felt like it.
I know where this
So
is going.
I'm in Hoag's doing my thing, getting. I must have been old enough to drive, so I must have been like 16 or so. So I come out of Hoag's, so Ben would have been 6, so this makes sense. I come out of Hoag's and Ben has standing in the window of the car peeing into the parking lot. And the rest of you are just sitting in the car laughing about it. Nobody tried to stop him.
Well, the boy had to pee. What were you supposed to say?
I was mortified. Everybody's staring at me like, can't you keep your brothers under control? Oh, Jiminy.
Well, you know, hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right, I'm only on Tuesday here. So I get done doing my exercise there at Bath, the
Uh-huh.
Bellevue Stadium, and then I drive over to Fremont and I see Billy Joe. And Billy Joe and I go out to Chud's there in Fremont and get a cheeseburger.
Uh-huh.
And I gave him his family pictures the copies that he wanted to buy from me.
Yep.
And I had a really, really good visit with Billy Joe there. So
So wait, hold on a minute. How is Billy? I haven't seen him in a while.
you know, he looked good. He seemed to be in good spirits. He's working for a company that does forklift. He goes out, he travels around and repairs forklifts.
Nice.
It's-
All right.
He's got a nice home there in Fremont. I used to
And,
stop and pick up Yvonne there.
So yeah, he seemed like he was doing fine. I never remembered him being so buff. Like he obviously had really gotten into weightlifting.
Ah,
Yeah, he's a big dude.
So yeah, he really
Yeah.
good
he
job,
really,
Billy.
And he's a hell of a bowler.
Yeah, I imagine. That makes sense.
yeah, we were talking about that a little bit too. So I got done with Billy in Fremont, and then I drove back over and stayed at the Super 8 by Cedar Point. Although I guess on the way over there, I stopped at Toff's there.
Of course you did.
Sandusky,
Mhm.
and I got the hot fudge sundae, and that was about 3 times as much ice cream as any
Oh my
normal
gosh.
person would need to eat. But I went ahead and ate the whole thing.
Well, Toff's always gives you those huge portions.
I took Emily to Toffs when we drove through there when I was going over there for my when I worked at Betcher.
Mhm.
So yeah, I took Emily to Toffs. I have pictures, man. Yep, Toffs.
Is Andy still there or did he fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
Ah,
I was going to
okay.
tell, and I'm pretty sure I've told you guys the pee story when we got to Worcester there. Of course, we were, all us boys were used to just peeing wherever we had to go. And so we got to Worcester there and we're out in the backyard doing whatever we're doing. And we all just stop and start peeing wherever we're at.
Just whip it
Pretty
out.
soon the neighbor parents are calling Susan saying, "Hey, your boys are peeing outside."
We're such a classy bunch.
So,
Susan's like, yeah, so
that was pretty much her response. But then later she told us we probably shouldn't. So
That's right.
I don't think it stopped us. I think we still did it anyway. But we tried to be a little more discreet about it.
man. Yes,
Yeah.
closer to the garage. That's right. I always tell everybody I'm trying to make your buildings grow by watering them.
There you go.
all right. So I cruise over. I'm staying at the Super 8, and that wasn't too bad of a place, for the money. But it's right there near Cedar Point. But I got up the next morning and went over to Port Clinton, and checked out some of the family history sites over there because our ancestors. I don't know if you guys caught this, Dave and Andy, but our ancestors, Nis Thomas's brothers and sisters owned
And mother.
2 hotels over there. The what were they called, Cheryl? The
Something house.
something house. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So Nis Thomas owned the hotels or relatives did?
Relatives did.
The relatives owned the hotels, and they owned them right up through like 1950.
All right, I have another question. So I have another question. So Nis Thomas came over, and with, and we're direct from that. But so he came over with more relatives?
Yeah, his
Like
brothers and
brothers and
sisters and stuff.
His brothers and sisters were already here. And the story, Dave, is that the German army, Nis had already served in the Danish army for a couple of years.
Right,
but
right.
The area where he lived was
They were
now
conscripting.
captured and became a part of Germany. So
Right.
the German army came, knocked on his door and said, hey, you either got to come serve 4 years with us or whatever the number was, or
Right,
you got to
right.
get the heck out of here.
Yep.
And so they packed up and left that night. And,
But-
like 2
But
days later,
there was already relatives here.
there was already relatives here in Port Clinton. His siblings were already here in Port Clinton.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Wow.
listen to my lives more often, bud, because
Oh, well, you know, Steve.
we've reviewed this.
What do you want me to
We've
say?
Hey, he
reviewed this
even
in
know.
showed,
detail.
You have
some.
talked to me a lot over the years. How much do I want to hear? So anyway,
Here it is, Steve, the Island House Hotel.
The Island House and the Lake House, yes, they
Yep.
own both of those.
wow, no
And the
kidding.
Island House building is still there.
Yeah, I almost
And-
bought a condo in it recently.
But yeah, I don't know that our ancestors
Are
the
you
ones
gonna Are you gonna get a family discount for buying that, Cheryl?
Yeah, right. I should. Say my relatives used to own this.
That's right.
I don't
No,
know
that's
that
pretty
they
cool.
I don't know that they built it, but it was built in 1886, and that is about the time that those folks would have shown up there. So
Yeah.
it's possible that they
Because-
built it. I don't know where that money would have come from.
And this didn't come over until what, 1890 something, right?
Late mid to late 1880s.
Is when this showed up.
Yeah. This showed up, and our great grandfather John Hanson was like 6 years old when he came over.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen Nis's grave. It's right there in Bellevue.
Yeah. So, but the reason I was going over to the primary reason I went over to Port Clinton is I went to the cemetery where I wanted to find Maria Thompson, who was Nis Thomas's mother. When Karsten died, which was Nis Thomas's father, she came over with some of her kids to Port Clinton, and then she's buried in the cemetery there. Well, I walked that entire cemetery. I was there for an hour and a half. I could not find her grave, but I did find two of her daughters' graves there, along with their husbands. One was what was it? Sure, one was a
Jensen,
Stinson and
something.
a Karstensen.
Yes.
One had a car and one didn't.
Right.
So it was a Stinson and a Karstensen.
Mhm.
So
Good old Danish names.
I found two of the daughters, and I think it was the Stinson son who kept that Island House Hotel going until the 1950s, and then I think he sold it out. But they went to church there in the Lutheran Church, and I went over St. John's Lutheran Church there in Port Clinton, and I went over and toured the inside of that church, and I did a live inside of there. But that was pretty cool to be in that building where they would have gone to church, and that church was built around that same time frame of the mid 1880s. So kind of cool history there in Port Clinton.
Yeah, Steve and I have found a house we want to buy there in Port Clinton. We'll send it to you guys. Maybe we can all pitch in.
Yeah, you guys can have a piece of that action.
I got a couple dollars.
Yeah, it's only 780,000 or something like that.
That's right. I'll throw in. You count me in for $1,000.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
That'll
I've
get
got
you
the
some free nights.
I've got the 80.
And then
Just $80, not the 80,000. But
Ah, okay. Andy's got the 80.
And live-in maintenance. See, Andy will do live-in maintenance.
Yeah, there
yeah,
we
well,
go.
yes, I can do that.
That's right.
Perfect.
And then Wednesday afternoon, Angie and Jamie and their family came up, and some other relatives, whatever, and we all went to Cedar Point. And some of their relatives had some free tickets that Heidi and I got to use, and they also had this free meal pass thing for Cedar Point that they let us have one of these. And so every 90 minutes, Heidi and I could get a meal and share it. So
Right.
we started like at 1:30 or whatever, but we had a meal like every hour and a half, 2 hours. We had some kind of meal there. So I ate more at Cedar Point than I normally would.
Right.
I have to say that the food was decent. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
top of the
Cedar
line,
Point's food is pretty good.
but it was decent. And
Mhm.
I also ate an elephant ear. I had to get one of those. It was $14. It was pretty ridiculous.
Mhm.
But
$14 for a wad of dough. It's worth about
Some
10
sugar,
cents.
brown sugar and cinnamon.
Mhm.
so the first thing after we ate once, we went and got in line for the gatekeeper, and we were there for like 45 minutes, and then they shut the thing down, and it was down for at least a half hour or so, but we decided to just stick it out. So finally it got going again. So we rode the gatekeeper, really cool roller coaster, a lot of fun. And then they wanted to get in line for the Top Thrill dragster, and they had some, cut in the line tickets. And so we went and got in line for that. And then right as we're about ready to get on that thing, they shut that down. and that thing was
Jeez.
down for a half hour, 45 minutes, but we're right up there, so we just tough it out. Finally, we get our ride on that. That thing will put your face, on the back of your head.
Did they shut that down for weather?
No, just something mechanical, whatever.
I've ridden it a
Um,
couple times.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
fast.
oh yeah, yeah, you go like 80 miles an hour.
Put your head back in the seat.
You go 80 miles an hour up the hill the first time, and then you go backwards, and you're going like 100 miles an hour backwards, and you climb up that big one backwards, and then you go forwards, and they ramp up to 120 miles an hour until you go over that 420-foot loop.
Yeah.
And when you're going 120 miles an hour in an open share like that, yeah, your chin is now on the back of your face.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
Do they still have the Raptor?
They still have the Raptor, yeah.
That's my favorite, man. That one's a good one.
So later on the afternoon, after we ate another meal, Heidi and I went over and got on the Mine Ride. And of course, the Mine Ride is a pretty tame, pretty mild little coaster. We're about halfway through that ride, and all of a sudden the thing just stops. It stops where it goes up the second hill. And we sit there for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. Finally, they're like, okay, guys, this thing's not moving. We got to excavate you, off of this. No, well, not excavate, but anyway, we got to get you off of this. And so they get us off, and we have to walk down the little hill and get off the whole arrangement there. And they give us a free ticket to cut in line for anything we want, except for the Top Thrill Dragster and the Siren's Curse. Those were the two exclusions. So we got our free ticket for a ride. We go over, the Gemini is pretty close by there. So I'm like, okay, Gemini's pretty tame. Heidi can handle that.
Mm-hmm.
So we go get in line for the Gemini. We're in line for about 20 minutes, and they just shut the Gemini down.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
And
You guys just deserve free tickets for another time.
So at that point, we get out of the Gemini line, and we walk all the way back, and Heidi's like, she's not sure she wants to do this Millennium Force thing, but I kind of talk her into it, and she's okay with it. So we use our cut in line things, and we go get in line for the Millennium Force. And we did actually get right on the Millennium Force. We had our ride, we got off, nothing wrong. But yeah, we had a rough day with the coasters there.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
And if my tickets weren't free, I would feel really good about writing to them and saying, hey, give me some free tickets.
Right.
But anyway, we got a lot of free food. We had some free coaster rides. At the end of the day,
the mine ride's it's still a wooden coaster, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's more of a ride for like a 12-year-old kid. It's not.
Yeah, that's the only one I'll do.
But they shake you up. And then, so do you guys remember the Blue Streak, where you just put that bar down in front of you, and then that thing would throw you like you were going to fall off of that thing? The Blue Streak was so shaky. And then
They said it was one of the scariest coasters at the park.
You had that one bar that went right across your thighs, and it would just let you go. Man, I swear, I can't believe people didn't fly off that thing.
Well, you got a seatbelt on there too, bud. But
that thing was crazy. I like the smooth coasters, like the Raptor. I like the hanging ones where you get to enjoy it, but you don't feel like you're going to be flying out south.
Right.
Well, they got you locked into the Millennium Force. You're not going anywhere there, but that is still my favorite coaster.
I like the Millennium Force. I've ridden it a few times.
Yeah.
And they had some of that where you go through the tunnels and stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
The Mean Streak is the one that'll throw you all over the place. That one's all herky-jerky. That's that big wooden one.
Yeah.
It's raining like crazy here.
And Andy, they actually converted the Mean Streak into what they call Steel Vengeance now. They were having issues with the thing, and so they completely redid it. They used a lot of the same framework, but they extended it, made it longer, and they put a steel track on it. And now they call it Steel Vengeance, and that's a pretty serious ride.
I wonder, does it ride a little smoother? Because when it was the Mean Streak, like it just jerked you all over the place. I got off there with a headache.
Right. I didn't ride Steel Vengeance this time. I think I did a year ago. I don't remember the particulars, but I know it wasn't on my list of favorite things to do. So
here, before we get off this subject, if you want to watch something really cool, go to HBO Max and watch Action Park on the documentaries. and that was
Yeah.
over in New Jersey, and that was in the 80s, and it was wild. I mean, like 3 people died there. So,
Wow.
with the rides. I
Wow.
mean, it was, yeah. So, but that was back in the era where we grew up with Cedar Point. So, wow,
Right.
yeah, you get a chance, watch that action park thing. You guys will laugh.
Well,
And
that's what
go
they
ahead.
had Avalanche Run there, right? Which
Yeah.
they had one of some issue with that at Cedar Point.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that one is still running. I think they gave up on that one.
So
So the whole reason to watch Action Park, that the 80s back then, it was you take your life in your own hands when you go to a.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
you had to sign a waiver, and
that's right. And you never knew when you were going to run into Cheryl. So anyway,
Uh,
back in the 80s.
mhm.
And then Cheryl, of course, on Thursday we went over to Shelby and saw Aaron at Paul's Drive-In. We had
Right.
an
That was fun.
amazing meal there near downtown Shelby. So hey, if you're in the area of Shelby, Ohio, and you want to have a great experience, go to Paul's Drive-In there in Shelby. Little commercial there. And then we went out to Aaron's place and got to check out his whole setup there, which was pretty sweet. And that's when he gave me, did you guys probably didn't see this. So Aaron gave me this 656 here. And
nice.
it's got the torque lever, it's got the gear shift, it's got the governor, it's got the 3-point hitch, it's got the PTO lever. I mean, it is dressed out. It is
Yeah.
a serious 656. So now when I'm supposed to be working during the day, I'm in my office playing with my tractor.
That sounds like you.
You got to get a wagon for it now.
Yeah, actually I bought a baler.
I think he's got some accessories coming.
And I'm going to order a hay wagon. So I'll have the whole deal. Friday we went down to the Ohio River to Marietta and with Heidi's family, and we did a river cruise. It was about an hour and a half, and we started on, I think it was the Muskingum River, and we cruised out on the Ohio River, and we went past this island. I don't remember the name of this island, but there used to be an amusement park on this island up until 1913 when a flood came through and wiped everything out, and then they gave up on the amusement park. But that whole,
those were easier times back then to give up on that stuff because hey, it only took out 6 people, but we'll just move on.
Yeah.
1913. That's the way that works.
Let me see what this. So you guys maybe wouldn't know this, but some of our ancestors were some of the first people in Ohio, and they came through Marietta. Buckley Island is the name of this island. It's about, I don't know, it's a couple miles long. It's not that wide, but it splits the Ohio River for those couple miles. But for a long time, one guy owned that, and he farmed potatoes and other things on there. But previously, there had been an amusement park on there up until the flood of 1913, which put like 20 feet of water in downtown Marietta.
Yikes.
So that would have had to been on Mom's side, right?
Yes, that was definitely on Mom's side. Yep. So, and then Saturday I went to the Ohio State Fair, which was really cool to go down there and see the cows and all
Smokey
that.
Bear. He got to see Smokey.
I went and saw Smokey Bear. Cheryl and I went to the Ohio State Fair a couple times when we were really young, and we would go see Smokey the Bear. And Smokey the Bear would call you by name. And so, hey, oh, look, there's Cheryl and Steve. How are you today? And, so
I never could figure that out.
So Cheryl, the guy who does that
Uh-huh.
was there with his tablet, and I was thinking, I should go. And I actually did talk to him, but I decided not to do this. But I was gonna say, have the guy call me out and then say, where's your sister Cheryl? I miss seeing her or something like that. And I was going to record that and send it to you. But he was
a nice thought. That was a nice thought.
He was busy taking care of some other kids, so I decided not to do that. I had a lot of fair food there at the fair. I had a Dumbo Air, that I don't think was fully, well, I know it wasn't fully cooked, some around some of the edges. And I think that's what made me a little sick that night. But,
Mhm.
but had a lot of good food at the fair there. So I wanted to mention this, Cheryl. I went to Port Clinton to find Maria Thompson. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. When I got home here, I realized that I had Maria Thompson's endowment card. And yesterday, Catherine and Heidi and I went to the brand new Linden Temple close by here. And
Mhm.
Catherine did the endowment for Maria Thompson. And I did
Nice.
the endowment for Karsten Sonke Hansen, who is her husband.
Yeah.
And then now they had already been sealed as a couple, but I then had both of them sealed to their parents.
Oh, nice.
And then Heidi did the endowment for this gal named Catherine Campbell, and she was from the 1400s. She was born in 1460,
Mhm.
and she is up Grandma May's mother's paternal line. She was a McCutcheon. If you
Ah.
follow up the McCutcheon line, she married a McCutcheon.
Mhm.
But she was Catherine Campbell from Campbelltown, Scotland. So
Nice.
So pretty cool that I had gone and looked for that Maria Thompson in the cemetery over there, and then come home and a week later, and we're in there doing her endowment.
Yeah, that is really
Um,
neat.
that was a really good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to explain, but that was really interesting. Okay, so we are now, wow, we are now, a half hour into this, and we haven't even
And
talked about Mom yet.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, let's talk about Mom. Come on now.
so
Yep,
yeah,
we got to talk about Mom.
let's get in here and talk about Mom, because Mom died August 6th, 1998.
Hmm.
I got a phone call, or maybe maybe you hit my pager up, Cheryl, because I talked to you on a payphone there inside the lobby at an International Paper Mill facility down there in Mobile, Alabama. That's
Mhm.
where you and I talked, and I found out that Mom had passed away.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things you just remember. Um, but anyway, go ahead and share some memories of Mom, Cheryl.
Well, I was thinking of a couple of funny stories about Mom and McDonald's, because Mom loved McDonald's because she's a pop connoisseur.
Yes.
Yes. And you know what?
They do
I,
have the
I
best Coke.
I listened to the Bob and Tom show, and Josh on there just said the other day that the Coke representatives go in there and they calibrate those machines.
Yeah.
McDonald's for machine. Yeah. That's why they have the best Coke. See,
Yeah, they
Mom
have
knew
a
that.
special. They
Yeah.
definitely have a special formula. It's like a little bit drier, not quite as sweet.
And they take care of that.
Yeah. It's very refreshing, because one time, Mom, we were in Harrison, and I had just pulled into the Shell station to get gas, and Mom's sitting in the car with me, and just as we're pulling out of the Shell station, Mom says, "I want to get a pop," and I was like, "Well, why don't you just go into the Shell station and get a pop?" And we were right across the street from McDonald's. She goes, "I want a McDonald's pop, Cheryl." She said, "I'm a pop connoisseur, and McDonald's has the best pop." And I've never forgotten that. I said, "Okay, yeah, you win, Mom.
Yep.
Let's do it." She won that argument.
Right.
So anyway, so my other two funny stories about McDonald's. Me and Allison and Mom were in Galleon, and I don't know if I'd come to see her when she was with Aunt Elsie, or if Aunt Elsie had already passed or whatever. But we were in the McDonald's in Galleon, and I had like 10 whole dollars to spend on lunch for me and Mom and Allison. And so Mom insisted on getting like two sandwiches and a fries and a Coke. And it left, like, I think me and Allison were able to split like a cheeseburger or something. I was like, "Mom, are you sure you need all this food?" "Oh yeah, I definitely need all this food." I was just like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So Allison still remembers that, and thought it was pretty funny.
Right. Right.
But one time we were in McDonald's in, yeah, I don't even, might have been Clare. I think it was Clare, Michigan. And Mom lived in Clare at the time, and Scott and I lived up in Harrison. And so we would come to Clare and pick up Mom, and we would go to McDonald's to eat or whatever. And so we were in there. And so Mom's up getting her meal, and she comes back to the table and she finishes her food. And Scott said, "Barb, they're giving free refills on French fries right now." And Mom said, no, that's not true. And Scott said, oh yeah, they are. It's a new thing just for this month. And so mom takes her fry container up there and asks for her free refill of French fries. And meanwhile, Scott's back there just giggling away.
Yeah, I
That's
bet
what
they
say
gave
when
them
she
to
came
her,
back.
right?
She's so gullible. I
Yeah,
love
but they
her.
gave them to her, right?
I don't know if they gave them to her. I just remember Scott getting a big kick out of her being up there asking for her free fries.
If I'd have been working at McDonald's and watched mom come up and say, "Hey, you're giving free French fries, right? Here's my container," I'd
Right.
have dropped some fries on her.
I know,
Why
right?
not?
Yep.
So hey, mom and McDonald's goes back a long way. Mom used
Mm-hmm.
to come pick us up at the farm. It would be me, Ben, Matt, and Andy. Because there was four
Mm-hmm.
of us,
Yeah.
and then we would get into that orange Pinto. I don't know if you guys remember the orange Pinto, but
Yep.
mom had an orange Pinto. She and some motorcycle guy doesn't like that one very well. And she would take us to Clyde and we go to the McDonald's because we didn't have a McDonald's in Bellevue, but we had a McDonald's in Clyde. And mom would
Right.
run us over there, buy us
Mm-hmm.
all Happy Meals. Boy, it was good days back then when we got to go to McDonald's.
I bet.
So mom,
Get away from that farm food for a little while, huh?
yeah,
Yes.
that was the good stuff, man. We used to go there to McDonald's and eat that. So but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets their Happy Meals. Mom liked McDonald's. And we
Yeah,
would
she
go to
did.
Clyde.
She
Yes,
was a
we did.
McDonald's fan for sure.
I'm a McDonald's fan. I just got a quarter pounder with cheese the other day.
Yeah, I like it too. Martin hates McDonald's, but that's because he used to work there. He'd have to
Right,
go in and clean up all the ice cream machines and everything, and he
right,
just hates McDonald's. But I go
right.
there just about every day, honestly.
He used to have
You
to
know,
calibrate the Coke machine. See,
He did, yes, the bricks level and all that stuff.
right. See,
Yep.
Martin made really good Coke at McDonald's.
Yeah.
my experience with fast food is this. All these companies have good menus and good products, but so much of it depends on the individual restaurant and how well the system is executed and what kind that determines what kind of food's being put out. And if the thing is being done correctly, the food comes out and it's good
Right.
and you taste good and you like it. But so often the system is not being done correctly and you end up with something that's pretty subpar.
Right.
So
I always
No,
ask for fresh
we have
fries at McDonald's because they have
we
to
have
give you fresh fries if you ask for them.
we have to bring in Nate on this. That's right. Nate would have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Tim,
Well-
Tim ran a good McDonald's. Tim's food was good. Tim was pretty staunch about making sure he was putting out quality product. So I'll
Right.
say that I was there for a few years with them, and
Right.
Tim ran his store as well.
right.
So,
Yeah.
and
I think if it's
and
done
therefore
correctly
Nate.
and
So
if it's done correctly and served hot, it can be reasonably good food. What were
All
you
right,
gonna say?
we're-
What would Nate say, Dave?
Oh, what would Nate say? I'm sure he would say a lot, but I don't know, so I can't say for sure.
I
So
went
let's get
through
back
the
to mom again.
Well, I went through the McDonald's on Rye Beach Road about a year or two after Nate and Jenny had sold their properties. And I pulled up and I said something about my brother Nate used to own these. And she goes, oh, we miss him so much. And she was kind of like talking pretty loud. So I'm thinking the people inside are probably going, okay, she doesn't like us apparently. It was this nice old lady at the window and she was just going on and on about how great Nate was. So I thought that was pretty funny. All right, Andy, what do you got to say about mom?
I don't know. The little Italy story, Dave probably be able to tell that one better than I can. When I had to use the restroom and Dave had to come wipe my butt because I was yelling from the restroom.
No, I kind of remember that now that you mentioned it, but I didn't. I kind of lost that one.
So
What?
I had to take a poop and I wasn't old enough to quite wipe my butt yet, so I was standing at the door yelling out, "Mom, come wipe my butt!" Mom turns to Dave and Dave, go wipe his butt.
I am
David.
not surprised by any of that.
No.
I think I kind of remember that now. I was trying to repress it.
Yeah.
No, it's coming back up. So
You know, this little tribute to mom that I had envisioned tonight. This wasn't quite the this
That's
wasn't
turned a
quite
little
the path.
south on you now, hasn't it?
This wasn't quite the path that I was envisioning.
The last time you asked us to join.
I
I'm
was going to
sure
talk
mom's
about.
somewhere laughing right along with us.
I was
She's
going to
like,
talk
my
about.
charming children.
I was going to talk about mom always being a missionary and having missionary work on her mind, and
Uh,
Oh no,
because
mom was always about the ancestors and doing all
oh,
that
she was
bullshit.
so into the genealogy. She really
Oh
was.
yeah, I gave you that book. You still have it, Cheryl, right?
Actually, Steve
uh,
has it. He took it back to Utah with him.
Oh, did
yeah,
you? I got more. I'm gonna give you some more. I got to find it.
All right.
yeah, there was some really interesting things in there that I want to share on a Sunday night here. Some additional family history that we'll get into. I learned some really good things about the Gleasons. Well, about the Robert Warren Cunningham family there in Chesterville. The Gleasons were a pretty big deal there in Chesterville, and there's actually a Gleason Nature Preserve there just south of Chesterville that ties back into that Gleason family. And it was a Mercy Gleason that married Robert Warren Cunningham, and the two of them had 9 children. And they only had one daughter. The eighth child was Anna, a daughter. But if you follow that Gleason line, it goes back 200 years back to a Thomas Gleason and Susanna Page, who came over from England and settled there in Massachusetts. And they were prominent people there and have a huge genealogy here in the United States from Thomas Gleason and Susanna Page. So we are related directly to those people. What's interesting is one of the descendants of Thomas Gleason was a Benjamin Gleason who married Rebecca Allen. Benjamin Gleason fought in the Revolutionary War. He and Rebecca Allen had 14 children, and they had children right through the Revolutionary War. And you would think if you're going off to war and you're fighting this battle and you don't know how this thing is coming out, you would think you might think maybe we ought to slow down on the kids here for a little bit until we get this war thing figured out. But no, these guys just kept going at it and kept having these kids right through the Revolutionary War, and they had 14 kids.
That's amazing.
And of course, one of those was our ancestors. So, but there are amazing families that go up that Gleason line.
All I have to say is that I might be related to Martin Luther King.
Now, how's that?
We got 14 kids. I mean, come on now. It's the possibility that one of them isn't the right one. Anyway,
David, you are so weird.
what? I'm just saying. Look at the whole big picture. Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
I
don't
like
think
it,
Martin
Steve.
Luther
I
was
like
around,
it. I like where you're going.
I don't think Martin Luther was around during the Revolutionary War, Dave. So I think we're safe on that
Well,
one.
I'm pretty sure his relatives were.
It's tough.
Anyway, maybe his great grandfather. You have no idea. So
Well,
anyway.
there you go.
All right.
All right. I'm
Sure,
sorry.
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt that way.
Yeah. So anyway, but where was I on all that? But yeah, a lot
The
of really
Gleasons.
neat
I like the
history
Gleasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So we might be married to we might be related to Jackie.
to Jackie, yeah, that's where I was thinking.
But what I learned from that book you gave me, Dave, or that you gave Cheryl, was the Gleasons owned, the Cunningham brothers owned a mill there in Chesterville, and they would grind people's wheat and whatever else. And they also owned some other businesses. So they were more than just farmers there in Chesterville, Cheryl. They were actually, a pretty big
business owners. If you got to grind
yeah,
people's wheat, they were business owners. Yeah.
they were business guys there for sure. But this Mercy Gleason gal, she sent her husband Robert to the Civil War, 2 of her sons and 2 of her brothers. So she sent 5 people off to the Civil War, and they all came back. They all came back alive. So
That's amazing.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
we're
incredible, actually.
We're 45 minutes into this. Do you have any other stories you want to share about mom? Maybe we'll touch on this whole mom thing in a different way another time.
Yeah, let's do that.
But
I love Mom. Mom was awesome. She was so cool. She did. She had that my mom was never embarrassed about anything.
No, she wasn't. She was just right on
Mom,
out there with
she
everything.
did not. You couldn't embarrass that woman in a
Mm-mm.
million years.
It's true.
I am doing my thing, and this is the way it works, and everybody else get out of the way. And that's exactly how she was.
Yep.
And
She came.
I that's right. Hey,
She,
the old story, and everybody knows that one about how she popped out. So, here, I'll give you a little bit of this. So, mom, we were at the farm, and mom told me, she said, "Get in the car," and I was like 6, 7,
Mm.
8, somewhere 8. Wait, hold on, 8, 9, 10. I think I was 10, and so. And then here, you'll laugh at this, Steve. So, she grabbed Andy. So I don't know what year were you born, Andy? 77. So Andy was like 2. So it would have been 79. I was like 10, somewhere in that range. And she threw me in the car, and she had Andy, and we were driving out of the farm. We were right around the curve, going down the driveway, and Steve yells at me because the cows are out.
Oh, geez.
I'm not kidding you. He yelled at me, and I was like, "Oh shit! Mom told me to get in the car. Who am I supposed to listen to here?" And so Steve yells at me because the cows are out, and he's trying to run around and get all the cows. And I'm like, I don't know. Mom told me to get in the car. I'm just doing what I'm told.
Right.
What else am I supposed to? And then she hauls us all the way to Iowa, and
Right.
you guys know the rest of that. And I
Yep.
still I cannot drink Sunkist Pop to this day.
Nope.
Sunkist and Lucky Charms, and I'll never forget driving back across there. Oh wait, that was in that V-Dub Rabbit. So I remember when we got pulled over. I looked over at the window, and I was like, "Man, those fence posts are going by real fast."
Yeah.
And she had that thing going as fast as it would go. and the cop pulled us over, and she told that cop that he could just take a hike, and
Oh my gosh.
and then not and it wasn't in a mom speak. I mean, she told him, that dude, I'm doing what I'm doing, you can get the hell out of my way. And
Uh-huh.
so then she had to go to court.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't a crazy. So anyway,
Yeah.
and Andy's on the line. So Andy and I spent some time in a motel room waiting for Dad to come back. And then
Yeah.
here, this is the funny part. On the way back, Mom was lighting candles, and she was wearing white gloves, and she
Mhm.
was lighting candles, and Dad kept blowing them out. I was sitting there watching him. She would light a candle, he would blow it out. Light one, and he was blowing out. It was crazy. Anyway.
Yeah,
So
literally crazy.
no,
So that's another part of mom we could discuss someday, but not right now.
well, it was so funny. Oh,
Yep.
I look back on it, and it's one of my favorite memories. Mom
Yeah.
lighting the candle, Dad blowing it out. Mom lighting the candle, Dad would blow it out. Mom lighting the candle.
You said she was
Dad would
also
blow
like
it out.
hexing people like Harry
Oh,
Potter
yeah, she
spells.
That's right. Oh, shit. But every time
Yeah,
she lit that candle, Dad would just blow it out.
we've missed we've missed the direction I was thinking I was going to take this tonight.
He
But
did have a bit of a
I'm
lead
so
foot.
sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, it was funny.
no, it's all part of the story, Dave. But it's all part of the story.
Hey, I got to tell you about my fortune cookie before we hang up.
All right.
I opened a fortune cookie while we were talking, because we went to me and Martin went to Panda today, and it says prosperity will soon knock on your door.
Huh.
So that's exciting, right?
I wonder.
Yes, that sounds good.
I wonder what it'll look like, or will it be a she? Is that male or female?
I don't know. I just thought you guys should share that with me.
Well, when somebody knocks, you might want to answer.
Yeah.
Are you prosperity?
That's right. No, I'm Joe from down the road.
All right,
So, hey,
Steve,
tell me,
let's wrap it up.
That's
well,
right,
tell me
Steve.
if you've had this experience. So I was sitting in church today, and this gal gave this really good talk, and she put up this book. I'm trying to look it up, but my internet's not cooperating here. She brought up the name of this book about this guy who had gone into Cuba um, during the war, like 100 years ago. A Message to
Uh-huh.
Garcia. There's some Cuban leader called Garcia, and this was like, I don't know, 100 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever. And I think McKinley had to get a message to this guy, and he was like way out in the middle of Cuba to protect himself, much like the guys in Iran right now.
Yeah.
But McKinley needed to get a message to this guy. So he gave it to this guy named, well, I guess I don't remember his name, but let me just cut to the chase here. So I thought that sounds like a really cool story, a really cool book. I looked it up on Amazon, and as I'm looking it up, all I typed in was a message, and all of a sudden Amazon filled in the rest. A Message to Garcia. Like,
Wow.
how did Amazon know that I was looking for that book? My phone
Yeah.
was listening to this talk, and it picked up on that,
Oh,
and it brought up A Message to Garcia, just like that. And I
wow.
thought that is so freaking weird. So
Yeah.
on the way home from church, I'm walking home from church, and I'm thinking about when I went on my mission. You guys all got together and sang a song up there in the Sandusky Ward. Do you remember what that song was?
I'm going to say Hope to Israel.
No, that's the
Seems
song.
right.
That's the song I used to play.
Yeah.
It was In the Hollow of Thy Hand by
Oh,
Janice Capri.
Yep.
You guys
Oh,
sang
yeah.
that for
At
me.
least I had a good guess.
It was
Mm-hmm.
a decent guess, Dave. Yeah. So you guys sang that for me, and I thought, oh, I'd like to I'd like to listen to that song. I was thinking about that on the way home. So when I got home, I went to look that up on my phone, and all I typed in. Now, keep in mind, I hadn't heard that song all day. I hadn't said anything to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing like that. It was just in my head. And so I type in the, and in the hollow of my hand fills in,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, now the one sitting in church, like I can kind of make sense that the phone can listen and pick up on that, know where that's going.
Mm-hmm.
But how did it pick up what was going on in my head?
I don't know. This has happened to me a few times too. I swear these devices, they can read your mind. I mean, it's freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's all
honestly, I've had
there.
that happen a few times where I've been like, is this thing listening to my thoughts? I
It's
mean,
all
it's so
there.
weird.
It's AI. It's AI. It
Yeah.
is really crazy.
Algorithms.
Yep.
But how do
Yeah.
they read your
Algorithms.
thoughts?
But all I
It's
typed in was,
algorithms.
Wow.
I'll have it do that when I get on. I'll think of something I need to, and I'll get on Amazon to, look and see what's available. And same thing. I won't even get the first few letters in, and bam, there it is.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, the words that I typed in were in and the. In
Right.
and the. Those are pretty generic words.
Yeah. Those are
And
pretty,
somehow it knew that I was looking for in the hollow of the hand.
could have been in
And
the
that was
grocery store. Well,
so. Anyway,
weird.
well, hey,
Ah.
Dave and Andy, thanks for joining us. We would love to have you on every Sunday night and talk about different things. Although I don't know, somehow we got to control the narrative a little better. I might have to use the mute button.
I said be careful. Don't throw me in there.
I may have to
might have to
start using the
put
mute
it,
button a little more often.
No,
put
that
it
was
on a
great.
10-second delay too with Dave there. You got, you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
The
can't,
That's funny.
FCC is going to be coming after us.
My
I can't
filter is
imagine.
my filter is not good, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine either. I'm always cussing and cousin Aaron's always laughing. He always puts up a laugh when I cuss.
Yeah. This is supposed to be a family show, and Cheryl's
Yeah.
cussing it up.
Where's Aaron? God damn it, he should have been in here.
Well, we'll grab him next time.
So,
Ding, I have to
All
go
right.
see him. I have to go see so many people, man. I'm so sorry. I haven't been
Yeah.
around.
all right, guys. Well, hey, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you for joining us. Anybody who watched this or catch us on the replay, I'm sure you had an entertaining one here tonight.
Right.
We will, Cheryl, we're on tomorrow night with Cheryl's boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So everybody can look forward to that. And I'm gonna cut these people loose. You guys can stay on here for a minute.